Welcome back. Today's video is going to be something a little different. We have all seen the Let's Upgrade a Village videos with both Conquest and Vanilla building. Well, I thought I would attempt to upgrade the upgraded and see what happens. A massive thank you goes to Andyisyoda for allowing me to use some of his amazing vanilla buildings in this project, and I'll leave some links to his channel below. Here we can see the incredible building Andy and his team have done, and we're going to quickly get this stuff into a village that will suit the lore and stories that I'm creating. For those that are invested in the Ascot series, don't worry, that's not going anywhere. This one's going to run alongside it. Alright guys, welcome to Andeville. So this is going to be a little iron mining town that will be on my world of Kaylum. It's going to be a medium-sized town, probably a little bit bigger than Ascot, and you can see here the vanilla buildings that I've put into this space. We're actually going to grab this area and plop it straight down onto my server over in Conquest Reforged. But before we do that, let's go and have a peek at just how good Andy's work looks. Alright, so as we're coming down, we're just going to follow the river down here and look at each side. We've got the amazing windmill with the farms out the front here, the wheat fields. That's going to transfer really nicely over into the Conquest stuff. And if we move further up, we've got his little chicken coop that they've made, along with a little farmhouse. Now, I commandeered the kelp farming processor that he had in one of his packs, in his rustic pack. And we created a little farmhouse with it just by replacing the kelp with the wheat. And we've got a little silo just there where they would store some of the grain from the mill. Now I've made some little bridges and paths through the vanilla buildings. We've just sort of kept it pretty simple. I didn't want to go too crazy with the detailing, as it would have been a lot of work to transfer it over into the Conquest stuff. So we've just kept the extra details a little bit simple and then just combined the town together. Over here we've got the ruined church. Now when we move this over to Conquest, we will absolutely be repairing this and increasing it in scale. I really love this design. I think it's a fantastic building, and I think we've got a lot to work with when it comes to upgrading this upgrade. Through here we've got just a couple of little smaller houses for the general population to be living in. With some of the housing, I've actually grabbed some of the trades buildings and just removed some of the trade elements for those buildings and just used them as regular housing, and we'll upgrade those too. We've used something a little bit different here for the manor house. So this is where the mayor would live. The mayor of the town would live in this building just here. Now if we head over the river, back across this bridge through here, this is the trade side of the city of Andeville. Well, it's a town or city. It's going to be pretty close. It's sort of going to be in between those two, being a larger project. But over here, we've got the sawmill. I love the way that they've used this block just here to look like it's rolling timber across the saw blade. Absolutely incredible detailing with vanilla work. Really like this build, and I had to use it within Andeville. Over here, we've got a bit of a blacksmith. Now, the blacksmith is going to be really important, as this is going to be an iron mine village, so it's going to be reasonably large. And one of its main exports is going to be iron ore and smelted iron. So here we've got the blacksmith's house and his workstation here. I really think this is going to look amazing. It already looks amazing, but I really think we're going to be able to elevate that to something very unique. Over here, we've got the charcoal maker's house. So basically, they used to pile logs up. So they would grab the logs from the sawmill over there and they would pile them up and then sort of surround them with dirt and clay and let them smolder overnight and turn all the timber that's inside of these into charcoal. I absolutely love this build, and I've never seen anybody build this in vanilla before. So I had to use this within Andeville. But I think it looks amazing, and we should be able to do something pretty special with that one as well. Over here, we've got a couple more houses just on this site. Again, I've used some of the trade buildings to just remove some of the trade elements to create some sort of unique parts of this village using Andy's work. And if we go up this way, over here, we actually have the smeltery for the ore. I'm going to be putting a mine in that space up there. Just here is going to be where they actually smelt a lot of that ore into slag and the iron that would be used over in the blacksmith. Some of the work that's been done by Andy and his team is second to none. And just as a village by itself, right here. This is an amazing little village that I've been able to make. I really, really like the work that they do over there. And as a Conquest builder, I do look into vanilla builds and the techniques that they use to help create atmosphere with what they're working with. And really, it was so easy to create Andeville and have it become this special little place within the build, because the work that was done with the vanilla structures was already so good. So there's a bit of pressure on me to be able to try and upgrade these, but let's jump over into Conquest and see where we're at. Okay, here we are back in Andeville, and you can see the drastic change you get when you just use Conquest textures. So this is purely vanilla. I've made minimal adjustments to this. All I've adjusted is there's a couple of block conflicts because we're using the modded texture pack and not the vanilla texture pack for Conquest. But that's afforded us this really bright blue on the buildings, which I'll show you in a minute, which I absolutely love and will definitely be leaning into further into this series of videos. But Andeville already looks amazing with the vanilla builds that have been created in Minecraft and then transferred over into Conquest. This is the impact it can make using Conquest Reforged. Don't worry, this is not the end of this series. We are absolutely going to be going around and trying to conquestify these buildings with extra details and smoothing some things out. And let's just see what we can come up with. But before we do those videos, let's go through and do a little walkthrough of the town of Andeville to see what we're going to be working with when it comes to building this project. Okay, down here you can see the amazing farm. Like, how good does that windmill look in there above the wheat fields that are across this area? Looks absolutely amazing. We've got another little stump in the field there. I do love my little stumps. And if we come over to here, we can see the farmhouse is turned into this lovely white stucco. We've still got the little chicken coop here looking absolutely incredible. If we can come up to the church, it really does look like it's in ruins, and it almost makes me want to build another church somewhere else and leave this here as a landmark and just make some minor changes to it. Out of all the buildings that have come across, this one here it already looks incredible. It already looks incredible. It's going to be very difficult to upgrade that building. Come down here, we really start to see that bright blue color that we're talking about, that really vibrant blue that's come across with the Conquest textures, replacing out some of the terracotta blocks there with some stucco blocks, and they just look amazing. And I really like how that pops on the screen. It's not something I would normally work with, but be it as it is, we are going to lean into that and do the best that we can with it. These two houses here you can see just look incredible. They just look incredible. Over here we've got the mayor's house. It doesn't quite have transition over as well as the timber roofed ones with the stone on the roof here. But we can definitely make some adjustments using the Conquest Reforged mod pack to really make the mayor's house pop. I think it's going to look absolutely amazing. I look forward to doing that particular building and really sort of upgrading the already upgraded. Now, if we come across the river over this way, the first house we looked at last time was the lumber yard. Still looks incredible. How good are those rollers now that they're a bit more circular? They look absolutely incredible. It really has come across really, really well. And it pretty much goes to show that the work that Andy and his team have done really is second to none. The fact that we can bring it over and it stands up under the Conquest spotlight. Over here we've got the charcoal maker's hut, and it looks amazing. I love the little decks and stuff like that. We're definitely going to be able to swap some stuff out here and just really bring this space to life. The paths that we built in vanilla, you can see some of the timbers through there. I was a little bit worried about how that would transition across. To be honest, it looks really good. We'll probably swap those timbers out with more dirt-like blocks that'll suit those spaces. But to be honest, it really has come across looking really, really nicely. I am really surprised by how good the paths look in the Conquest texture pack. I thought that was going to be a pretty big problem. Over here, we've got a couple more houses that people have been living in. And again, we've got that lovely blue color that's really sort of shining through. Here, we've got the blacksmith's house. Already with the Conquest textures, you can see the anvil just elevates those blocks into something else. And yeah, I think we're really going to be able to step up this blacksmith and make it something special. This is another building that I really look forward to upgrading. I think it will be absolutely incredible. I love the jungle roofing that's going on. As we come over here, we've got the smeltery. Out of some of the builds that we've got today, maybe this is another one that hasn't transitioned across quite as well. We do have the really amazing scaffolding texture with the ramps coming up here, but the redstone torches are a little bit sci-fi in Conquest, so we'll be replacing them with something else. The scaffolding and ramp work there to get stuff up into the massive furnace that we've got going on here, it looks incredible. That is absolutely amazing. I do like the timber on the walls here. I think this looks really good. It's really unique sort of styling here around this building, and I don't think we're going to have to do too much to this, but we will have to revamp the roof with the stone bricks that we've got around the edges there. We can definitely touch up on those. So don't be worried, guys. This isn't the end of this series. Obviously, we can see what a vanilla build now looks like in Conquest and how good Conquest can actually make things look. But we can definitely elevate these to another level. We're going to go through and run a series of videos where we upgrade each section at a time. We're going to see what we can actually create when afforded 11,000 blocks plus to make things smoother and more detailed than what they already are. Again, I do have to tip my hat to Andyisyoda for allowing me to do this. Just goes to show the type of fella that he is, that he would allow somebody else to grab his builds and then try to improve them, because they don't really need improving. As you can see, they're already incredible regardless of the texture pack. And Andeville, I could dead set leave it exactly like this and be super happy with it, but that would be a very short video series, so we're going to try and upgrade these ones. Alright, stay tuned for episode 2 of Andeville and we'll see what we're going to upgrade next.